Hi, I'm Carly from Close to My Heart, and this is Artbooking Made Easy. Today I'll show you how to use our freedom-themed keys for your patriotic scrapbook works of art, as well as other types of events and people you'd like to celebrate. On this layout here, I have used the freedom-themed keys found on page 64 to celebrate a soldier and his family, so it's used in a traditional way. You can see that I have chosen to use the mats with the stars and the stripes, and I've even used this ribbon of remembrance right here in the corner. I've also used the same freedom-themed key, but the items found on page 65 for this layout here. And this layout is just commemorating a fun celebration with a brother and his little sister. Now, there are a few fun things on here that I want to show you. You can see this star emblem right here. Let me show you what it looks like when it's cut out from the Cricut. And I've just cut it out in the glitter paper. But it has been used in a fun, non-traditional manner. You can see it's used here to create a embellishment cluster, but it's also used over here, turned sideways, for a journaling spot. And so it's just kind of a fun way to show a different way to use things. Another thing that I want to point out on this layout is under my title, Celebrate, I have underlined it using baker's twine. And rather than wrapping it all the way around the page, I've just punched two little holes and laced the baker's twine through there to give it a nice little pop. And I've done the same thing over on this side to mimic that and carry it across. Now, something I want to tell you about this title is that you can actually use it in multiple ways, and not just this title, any of the titles on the Artbooking cartridge. Let me show you another layout. You can see that same Celebrate title is used on this layout here. And one of the great things about this layout is that it combines both of the images from pages 64 and 65, and it's not used to celebrate a patriotic theme. So you can use the shapes and titles to celebrate all sorts of things. In this case, this is a family celebrating the birth of their new child. So let's talk about the title here. You can see that on this page, it is a solid piece. And I actually have one that I've cut from the Cricut right here. So it comes out as a solid piece, but you can cut the titles anywhere that you want to place them across the two pages. So you can see that I've cut between the E and the B, so it's a center point on my two pages. Another thing you'll notice that I've done on this layout is I backed the overlay using different items. So I've used craft paper here, I've left it so the base shows through here, cardstock here, and then the Sarita textiles fabric back here. So it's great to have that negative cutout space because you can back it with whatever you would like. Another thing that you'll notice on this page is that same star emblem shrunken down to add attention or draw attention to my date up here, which is kind of another fun little way to use that. Now you can see this mat is the same one from over on the military page with the stripes, but rather than backing it all the way like I did on the military one with the glitter paper, I only backed it halfway, so it adds a little more depth and a little more oomph. Now, one last thing I want to show you about this layout is over here, this mat that's behind this photo is actually the negative space from this frame. Let me show you what they look like when they're cut from the Cricut. So when you cut this frame out from your Cricut, it comes out like this. And so I've used it traditionally right here. But as a scrapbooker, I don't like to throw anything away. So I kept that negative space from the center of that frame, and I've used that to mat my photo on a secondary layout. So that's one of the great things about the Artbooking cartridge. With all of the overlays and the frames, there's always fun things that are the negative space, but you can hold on to them and use them for other things. So you can see the Artbooking Freedom Keys are perfect for anything or anyone you want to cheer about. Our military heroes, a child who's earned his first A in school, a new baby, a New Year's Eve party, and more. The images just scream celebrate. So be sure to think of the Freedom Keys when you're praising something wonderful in your works of art. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook, and keep checking Jeanette Linton's blog to learn more about the Artbooking cartridge. And if you'd like to purchase the Artbooking cartridge for your own creative paper crafting, contact your Close to My Heart independent consultant, or go to closetomyheart.com to find a consultant in your area.